The Steelers win and get some revenge on the Cleveland Browns in Week 14, taking the win by a final score of 27-14 in Week 14 to improve to 10-3, and all but pretty much close to punch their ticket to the postseason with 4 games left to go on their schedule. Welcome into Steelers Talk and our postgame show here. I'm your host, Jack Sperry. Today we're going to be breaking down all the events of today's game, give out my game balls, and then I have some takeaways heading into this next week where we prepare for the Philadelphia Eagles. So let's start with this game here, man. 27-14, the final. Russell Wilson, only 158 yards passing. Really a slow start for the offense, really in the entire first half. But then 2 touchdowns and no interceptions from Russ today. Took care of the football, did all those things. Obviously was missing George Pickens. Obviously. I mean, you got to get him back in the weeks to come if you want this pass game to be any semblance of good for all 4 quarters. But Pat Freiermuth stepped up today, 3 catches for 48 yards and a touchdown. Mike Williams caught all 4 balls that were thrown his way, except for, actually, no, I think there was one that Russ kind of had a foul ball earlier in the game. And then Najee Harris had a pretty decent game as well. So did Jalen Warren. So when the pass game wasn't going, the run game really got going for the Steelers offensively today. And then defensively, they were just fantastic, getting after the quarterback, getting interceptions, another game with 3 turnovers. I mean, this Steelers defense is just absolutely insane, man. All right, make sure you guys go down there in the comments section to kick off today's show and spam those W's to celebrate the win here on Sunday. Lord, I don't know if I would have been able to live with myself if this Steelers team got swept by the Cleveland Steamers. Thank God we dodged that bullet and got the win today. Celebrate with me right now by spamming those W's. Couple of injury updates here. Larry Ogunjobi left this game with a groin injury. Groins can be quite fickle, man, so I wouldn't expect Ogunjobi back really anytime soon. And then you got Dante Jackson, who left the game with a back injury. James Pierre came in, actually played pretty decently, got an interception to finish off the game. So hopefully these guys are good to go in the weeks to come, and hopefully we have both these guys for the postseason. Then we get to the game balls here. I'm going to give the first one to Mike Williams. Now, I thought that his usage wasn't as much as I would have liked to see. But overall, man, he did what you brought in Mike Williams to do, which was to get those 50-50 balls. You could see that he was winning the one-on-one matchups when he got the one-on-ones. And, he did a good job, using his arm to push off a little bit. I thought the OPI he ended up getting was a little ticky-tack. It didn't look like he extended all the way. But 3 catches for 36 yards. No touchdowns today, but, he had to step in for George Pickens and play the X in this offense. And I did a pretty decent job of that today. It's his first official start for the Steelers in a Steelers uniform here. So he gets a game ball here for his contributions. Another player that I thought really played well today, it was great to see him back out there, was Alex Highsmith. He got a sack early, a tackle for loss. He did have a roughing the passer penalty, which I thought was really dumb and super ticky-tacky. Didn't think that should have been called, but I thought he was really, really good against Jermaine Ifedi all day long. And, him being injected back into this edge rusher rotation with T.J. Watt and Nick Herbig, and then Preston Smith also had some nice plays today as well. It just creates the most ravenous defensive line and pass rush in the National Football League today, in my opinion. Cam Heyward, Captain Cam, had an awesome game today. He gets my 3rd game ball. 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss. I mean, Cam was everywhere today like he always is. He continues to play first-team, all-pro caliber football. And, man, it's so good that the Steelers signed him to that extension when they did, because if they didn't, they'd have to be paying up big time this offseason. So, Cam, great game. Let me know down there in the comments section, who was the MVP of today's game in your mind? This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show. So YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. And when that happens, take advantage of that time by letting me know who your MVP was for this football game. James Pierre, I'm going to give him the game ball for the interception that he had to kind of seal the deal in the 4th quarter. It was getting to a point there where, Cordero Patterson fumbles the ball. The Browns could have gone and scored, and technically the game wasn't over. Cordero Patterson kind of opened the door, and then James Pierre kind of flew in, had good zone eyes, and then he went over and made a nice catch for the interception to slam the door shut on Cleveland. So James Pierre, not the best corner in the world. Maybe Corey Trice Jr. is going to be the starting outside corner next week if Dante Jackson can't give it a go. But Pierre, good game today and good job in relief. Final game ball goes to Mike Tomlin, the head coach, because this is now his 11th season in 18 years here in Pittsburgh with at least 10 wins. All right, double-digit win seasons, 11 for 18. That's over a 50% clip. So the narrative that the Steelers are always 8-9 or 9-8, or that Tomlin, is a super average head coach or whatever, just not true, man. He consistently gets this team since he got here to 10-plus wins, and now it's his second season in a row. And with 4 games left to go, I have a feeling it's going to be much more than just 10 wins. So coming up here on Steelers Talk, I've got more things to talk about on today's program. My takeaways after this game versus the Browns, and kind of what I'm feeling going into this final slate of games against the Eagles, Ravens, Chiefs, and then the Bengals. Before I get my takeaways after today's win, let's have a word from our sponsor here at PrizePicks, which is the best place to get real money sports action all on your phone this football season. Join over 10 million users and sign up today. PrizePicks invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. PrizePicks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I can get my money in as quick as 15 minutes. Also, PrizePicks now offers Venmo for quick and easy deposits and withdrawals into your account this sports season. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play just $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks also offers weekly promotions like Taco Tuesday, where every Tuesday, PrizePicks discounts select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value for your lineups. You guys can see here, I didn't do too well today. I did get the Myles Garrett more with the sacks there, with the kind of garbage time sack there. But the Moores on Russell Wilson and Najee Harris, unfortunately, did not hit for me today. But if you guys want to make some money with PrizePicks and not listen to me, you guys can download the PrizePicks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. It's $50 instantly when you use code CLNS after playing your first $5 lineup on the PrizePicks app today. PrizePicks, run your game. First takeaway here is I thought the offense made another good adjustment in the second half. Now, it is kind of a troubling occurrence here, kind of trend that the Steelers offense has, that they don't look prepared to play. Now, maybe today, with George Pickens kind of a last-minute kind of inactive, maybe that affected the game plan, and it really, it didn't look good with George Pickens not out there. That's certainly a possibility. But the good news is Arthur Smith, Russell Wilson, Mike Tomlin got together at halftime, and then they figured it out in the second half. Russ made some really great plays on third down to keep the chains moving, threw a couple touchdown passes, kept the ball out of harm's way today. So overall, wasn't Russell Wilson's best game by any stretch of the imagination. It was more, honestly, the run game. I thought the run game did a really good job today with Najee and Jalen getting the job done today. Moving the chains. I thought Jalen in particular did a really good job with yards after contact. He ran really, really hard today. So I really like what this offense did in the wake of George Pickens being deemed out. But it's certainly clear, guys, you need George Pickens down the stretch and in the postseason if you're going to make a serious run. Second takeaway here is that this defense is ravenous, okay? It's one of, if not the best in football, because they take away the football at a higher rate than anybody else in the game, and it's not close. This is now the Steelers' 4th straight game with 3 turnovers created. That's unbelievable, man. I can't remember any team having a stretch like that where they have 12 turnovers over the span of a month of football. That is incredible. And, the Steelers just keep pouring it on here with making these big-time plays to change the momentum, to change the way that the game is played there, especially in the second half, man. This team just continues to make big plays in the biggest moments. And big shout-out to the defensive line for kind of spooking Jameis Winston quite a bit today. He was overthrowing balls left and right because he was trying to get the ball out fast because this defensive line was getting after him. And then really good job on the secondary. I thought Joey Porter Jr. had a really, really good day on Jerry Jeudy. Man, I wish I would have given him a game ball because he did a pretty darn good job on number 3 today. And the final takeaway here is that the Steelers now with 10 wins, that pretty much guarantees their spot in the postseason. There's a super narrow path where they could technically be eliminated with 10 wins, but it's pretty much a done deal at this point. The Steelers will most likely be making the playoffs unless they lose out, the Colts win out, and a couple different things need to happen here. But now you go into this 4-game stretch against legit playoff teams here, man, especially the next 3. Eagles, Ravens, Chiefs, and then you get Cincinnati, which is no pushover either. And we're going to find out, how good this Steelers team is. Can they go on a run here, play multiple good teams in a row, and still play high-caliber football? It's going to be a great test and a great primer for the Pittsburgh Steelers heading into the postseason this year. And, if they can come out with 2 or 3 wins in this next 3-game stretch, I think most Steelers fans would be extremely happy with that. So now grade today's performance for the Steelers, A, B, C, D, or F. For me personally, guys, I'm going to go with probably a B+. You did what you were supposed to do. You did some good things, but it was also another slow start offensively in the first half. So that's something that I think needs to be corrected in the weeks to come. But overall, mostly good stuff for the Steelers. Another game where he scored 27+ points. So hey, this team is putting up points. So that's good news. So give me your grade down there in the comments section. That'll be it for today's edition of the Steelers Talk post-game show. Tomorrow, Coop and I are going live at 4:30 p.m. or 5:30 p.m. Eastern time to break down this game, my thoughts after I watch the film, and then also a preview next week's game against the Philadelphia Eagles. You don't want to miss that one, so make sure you click that subscribe button right now. Until then, guys, here we go, Steelers.